again, everybody. It's Kevin Knesset coming to you from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 19th day of November in the year 2024. Sure hope you're enjoying your Tuesday, no matter where it is you are in the country. Here in the Northeast, 57 degrees in downtown Kearney. A little bit on the chilly side. It's only going to get chilly over the next couple of days, but here we are, just a week and 2 days away from Thanksgiving already. Where does the time go? It seems like we were just getting ready for Memorial Day and doing all things around the barbecues and all that sort of stuff, and now we're just a week and 2 days out from Thanksgiving. Man, time goes so fast. But as you do each and every Tuesday, you welcome me into your homes so that I can bring you this week's news. And we'll start out today right on the front page with this week's front page story, remembering the Rev. The Rev was Reverend Frank Benson, who was the longtime pastor of the Knox Presbyterian Church, which unfortunately closed its doors back in 2013. And the Rev was the Kearney Police chaplain for many, many years. And in fact, when he retired from ministry in 1996 from Knox Presbyterian Church, he remained the chaplain of the Kearney Police Department for another 20 years until his death in 2016, and he is well loved by almost anybody who ever put on the uniform of the Kearney Police Department. And a couple of weekends ago, the PBA, through the president, Mina Claudius, donated and presented a boat or a shell to the recreation crew team, and it was named after the Rev. Frank Benson. And the photo that you see on the front page is retired police officer Jim McIntosh, who knows the history of the Kearney Police Department better than anybody. He is also a deacon, and he blessed the shell and gave a speech and I guess I would say a small homily 2 Saturdays ago at Kearney Police Department headquarters, and you can see the photo of him there with Mina and Chief Scott McPhee. So that was a really nice ceremony. Unfortunately, I didn't make it, but I found out about it afterwards, unfortunately. But it was a really, really nice ceremony and a really nice addition to the crew team for on the recreation side. So we certainly give a big congratulations to Mina for coming up with this idea, and also the idea of naming it after Reverend Benson was certainly a no-brainer, really. He did so much for the Kearney Police Department. And believe it or not, for 8 years there was a plaque, and it was kind of just sitting on a shelf, but now it is plastered on the wall at Kearney PD headquarters right by the entrance to the desk. And you can see that, and a copy of it was given to his widow, Paula, because she was present at the presentation 2 weekends ago, and that will forever be a part of their lives. So well done to everybody involved in remembering the Rev, and we have a story this week that will tell you all about that. Now, as we get on to the next story, I want to change the page here, but once I do that, what I need to do is kind of show you guys a little bit about what this is about, because this is very important. This is something that's coming up on the 1st of January. The town of Kearney is regulating e-bikes and e-scooters, and it's very important that parents are aware of what will happen, because there is a possibility, with violations of this new ordinance, of fines between $100 and up to $1,250. And it's a very extensive ordinance, and it is spelled out perfectly in this document, which you can read by clicking on is.gd/KearneyBikes. And it will explain what you cannot do with e-bikes and e-scooters. It explains what the definition of an e-bike and e-scooter is. For example, they can only go 19 miles an hour. You're not supposed to be driving them on sidewalks in a lot of cases, and things of that nature. So I'm going to suggest you read the story, and then if you have an opportunity afterwards, go to this website, is.gd/KearneyBikes, because it is spelled out there for you from start to finish. And what's also important to note is that not This is the town of Kearney's rules only. So if you are riding on a scooter or an e-bike and you cross over into North Arlington, Harrison, East Newark, Belleville, wherever it is, the rules may be different in different towns, but this is what the town of Kearney has done. And so far as I can tell, it's the first one of our local towns that have really addressed this. Town Attorney Jim Bruno worked very, very hard on this with Councilman George Zapata and the Ordinance Committee, and they adopted it at the last council meeting. So make sure, if you especially are a parent, that you pay close attention to all these new rules and regulations, because the police department come January 1st will start enforcing it. And the other thing to note too is that in most cases, if the person riding the e-scooter or the e-bike is a juvenile, it's the parents who are going to get the fines and have to go to court. So be very, very cautious. When you get a chance, read it from start to finish so that there's no reasons to be in the dark. Helmets, things of that nature are all addressed. All things that you need to know about safety, reflectors, lights, signaling devices, horns, and things of that nature are all in the ordinance. So be sure to read it at some point today. So that is perhaps the most important, one of the more important stories we've had in a long time. So check it out when you get a chance. I think by now everybody knows Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller were in Kearney for about a week and a half doing filming for Happy Gilmore 2. Here's a photo from one of the many times that Adam interacted with people, and our Lisa is in that picture, and so are a bunch of her friends. And that's simply because the trailer that was used for feeding all of the actors was on her driveway. It was kind of cool. So it was right in her backyard, and she had a chance to meet a lot of these guys and all the stagehands and things of that nature. So for people who are gawkers, I wouldn't say Lisa is, but for people who were really into that, there was a lot of opportunities to meet Adam Sandler, and I think he was very, very kind to a lot of the people who he reached out to. This other story is about a crash that took place last week on Fish House Road by the Whitpan Bridge. Seriously injured a person from Pennsylvania, and unfortunately the driver of the vehicle was drunk, so she's behind bars now. There's a project going on in Nutley at the Mudhole mitigation project that started a couple of years ago during one of the hurricanes, and the work is underway. It's going to be going on for a couple more weeks. So if you live in Nutley and you're going to be in that area near the Mudhole at any time, it's important to know what's going on there as well. This is a picture that I got from Stephen Ty the other day. It was 2018 in November, where I had a chance to meet and spend the entire afternoon with Congressman Bill Pascrell. And all we did that day was walk up and down Kearney Avenue and go into businesses, and he greeted and met so many people. That was the kind of guy he was. Those were the kind of days where, when Congress was not in session, he would just simply go and reach out to so many people. And it's a shame he's no longer with us. Of course, he died earlier this year, but I had to share this picture because for me it was a top memory, and I think so many of us will remember him fondly as somebody who really cared about our district and kept us in mind, whether it was for the fire service, where he was a champion. I mean, you got to realize how much money he brought back from Washington, D.C. for the fire service, and he is certainly missed for sure. Of course, we have a story from the Lyndhurst police blotter. Guy was asleep at the wheel, and he also had a lot of heroin on him. And at the Lyndhurst Library, there's a new collection. They have this kind of rotating collection where residents are able to display if they have a large collection of any items. And the first one that the Lyndhurst Library is putting out is of a Pez collection. This guy here has a countless amount of Pez dispensers, and I guess a lot of people do collect those. So if you have a collection of something, maybe it's baseball cards, whatever it might be, and you live in Lyndhurst, they're looking for more collections. So please do contact somebody at the Lyndhurst Library if that is of interest to you. The Harrison High School boys soccer team won a sectional group championship last week, so congratulations to them, Mike Russick and the boys of the Harrison Blue Tide. Jason Bernstein has two other sports stories this week, including an athlete of the week who comes from Harrison High School, so don't forget to check that out. And of course, as we do each and every week, we have 2 pages of classifieds with a ton of apartments there's a lot of rentals available. You see, there's like 4 columns of Carney Harrison rentals. So please be sure to check those out when you get a chance, especially if you're looking for a place to live. And that's it for today. This was a brief one today. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. Don't forget, we'll be back 1 week from today. It'll be 2 days before Thanksgiving, but we will be here next week, and we'll tell you all about the days that will be closed in the next edition of the Observer Live. But of course, if anything breaks between now and then, we will join you live with that. From the newsroom of the Observer and theobserver.com, it's Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.